All right, so here's Carrie Warren 9130. She states you have no rights on private property. And then we have what's his name? GRNHRNTS Cato states you haven't got a case of any type. There is no law requiring a private business to post their policies. They simply have to ask people not to record inside their private business. You can ask about any policies you are concerned about, and the employee will inform you. You can then decide not to shop there. Conversely, the employees can ask you to leave for any reason they like other than on prohibited human rights grounds. An example, race, sex, language, etc. If you come off like a smartass or troublemaker, they can tell you to get out. Your rights are not violated. So, oops. Right, so that's this guy's thought process, okay? So, let me actually show you how the law works, okay? 1 second. Okay, so wrote up a pickup slip, right? So this is the good example, right? So as you can see, there's absolutely nothing identifying, stating that this is a company, right? Other than employee releasing item to customer, right? Then, right? But I'll explain that in just a second, okay? So if you were to go and make an online purchase at a store like, I don't know, Walmart, Target, Trader Joe's, right? Like those are all stores that I'm pretty sure you could do Trader Joe's in Colorado. But anyways, if you were to do an online order, you would get a pickup slip like this from the store, okay? On there, it's going to have it's going to let you know this is the pickup slip for in-store pickup, so that way employees don't pull the wrong sheet. It'll have the order number, you fill that out. It'll have the date, right? You fill that out. Company employee who pulled order. You can either initial or put their name there, right? So if the person's name is John, John's name is going to be up here, John's initial is going to be over here, and then John's name is going to be over here somewhere, wherever it says to sign, right? So if it's Kelly, Kelly's name is going to be up here, Kelly's initials here, Kelly's name will be down here, okay? All right, so very basic. Okay, and then time pulled. And then SKUs, because every item has a barcode, so you put the barcode here, and then it'll have a brief description of what these barcodes are. So if this is a barcode for a red lamp, a white lamp, and a lamp fixture, like something to hold the light bulbs, then down here you're going to have a light fixture with 2 light bulbs, one red, one white, or something like that, okay? You'll have the purchaser's name, because that it's going to show online. So like if I were picking it up, then it would have my name. If my wife were picking it up, then it would have her name. And then down here, this is a valid option that they have on their website, is an item to be picked up by, and then you give the name of that person, okay? So this is important right here. The bottom part, this is to be filled out by the employee and only by the employee, okay? Basically all of this is because this is their sheet, but down here very specifically, like I said, this is for company initials. It tells you the customer's ID was verified by the employee initials here, and then employee releasing item to customer, that their name will be right there, right? Date picked up, and any notes, okay? Any notes that might be that the customer said, or notes about the item in general, like if it was damaged and it had to be replaced or whatever, right? Like you would put that there. For this instance, I put store policy says ID will be verified only. I do have a photo of that because it has the store logo and company name on it. I can't show it because until the lawsuit goes through, I can't technically tell you the name of the company, but I can tell you the crimes that were committed, so we can at least discuss stuff and you can learn. So, but it does say verified only, and then I put please see legal definition of verify versus handover. Okay, so according to the law, we are required to show the license, not give it up or hand it over. Okay, that's the definition of verify. Okay, you show the license, not give it up. All right, and the violations of this include 4th Amendment, 5th Amendment, and 14th Amendment. And I'll explain more about that later. But essentially, your 4th Amendment makes sure that your private person and any papers attached to you, they're kept safe and secret. 5th Amendment is basic privacy, like you don't have the right to know who I am unless I choose. And then 14th Amendment, if I see fair and unequal treatment, then that's fair and unequal treatment under the law. I can prove that you do not ID everybody, like what you'll see on this next page, because this is one of the things that I'm trying to get when I subpoena their video. You'll see that But I make it very clear that we're not being treated like the people who are in the regular line, and I state very clearly that I want the order canceled. I don't want them to have our information, and I want for us to be able to go in the line. And they very blatantly denied that, right? So this is the example of, this is a good example. Oh my God, my doggy's waiting on the other side. She's trying to be passive aggressive and let me know that it's too hot out there for her, even though she can go sit in the shade over by the water. My itty bitty pitty is terrorizing me. Oh, she's also blocking me in, this little turd. Yeah, no. Okay, that's okay. So anyways, this is the good example, okay? Now, I'm going to show you the bad example. This is the good example. This is an example that will not get you sued, okay? No, technically, this does not violate any personal rights, okay? But now, let's go over here and look at see how they look similar, right? I'll zoom out just a little bit, right? So up here, this top part is identical, okay? So this and this are the same, except for one difference. On a bad pickup slip, you're going to see the company name and logo plastered all over. So you'll have like company name logo here. You could have it up here in the empty space. Right here it'll say, where is it at? Hold on. I'm looking at the wrong, am I looking at the wrong page? Hold on. Okay, well, oh, that's why. Okay, yeah, so over here I have employee releasing item to customer. So if this was Walmart, it would say Walmart employee, or if it was JCPenney employee, right? Like, right, it would have branded information. Over here, one of the major farm places is a company called North 40. So it would be North 40 or N40, whatever they go by. I don't know their abbreviations. So I think their website is N40, so that's probably what it would be. So, but again, the stuff down here is what's different. This is what's very, very, very important. Now, the reason that I'm upset about this is because I come from my background. I worked very, very hard to maintain a very professional, I worked hard for my reputation, and at every single job, I was always one of the best employees, right? So I worked at 2 separate banks. One was back in, I think it was 2016. That's where I met my wife. We worked for Barclays Bank. At the time, they were number 7 in the world. And we had to deal with contracts and legalities changing literally every single day. Sometimes you would have multiple changes within a day. Literally every couple of hours you would have changes. So we had to be up to date on our policies. One of the things that was absolutely drilled into us from the get-go, right? Like our company basically stated, if you ever write down company or employee information and we don't tell you to do it, we will help them sue your ass. Like they were very blunt, right? Like you have committed identity theft, and we will help them prosecute you. Okay, you will be escorted out of the building. You will not be allowed to come back in and collect your stuff. You will be escorted out, and then you will receive a summons in court for violating the law. Right? They were very, very blunt. Okay, that was something that was drilled into us. So when you come down here, and again, this is all to be filled out by the employees, right? Because the employee felt that they had to take my wife's ID from her. Okay. And then they wrote down her ID number, driver's license number. They wrote down what state it came from. They wrote down her actual name. So my sexy ass wife had her name stolen. And then down here, we have the name of the person who did it. So again, the reason this is important is because, like I said, they violated the law multiple times when they right down here it states with data privacy protection. We have, and I'll let you read this real quick. I'm just trying to, we have the right to access, correct, or delete personal info, right? So they're in clear violation of this. But again, this is basically the bad lawsuit, and this is the good one, right? So again, down here, there's absolutely nothing violating a person's right to privacy. As we all know from a previous video, our right to privacy is key here in the U.S. Amendments 1, 3, 4, 5, technically 6, number 9, and then number 14 all deal with privacy. So you cannot tell me that personal privacy is not important. But again, back to the argument, the comment that I read to you, right, where he states that you don't have to display policies. We as citizens, we have the right to choose where we shop. And if your policy doesn't agree with me, I don't have to shop there, right? Now, if you're going to deny me that and not let me see it, that's technically up to you. However, when I request that information, you have to legally give it to me. Otherwise, you're in violation of all this stuff down here. And I'll read that for you now. Okay, so no policies displayed, refused them upon request. You have now violated, consumer protection laws have been broken. You violated consumer protection laws. California has big ones, but Idaho has consumer protection laws as well. I'm not sure if they're the same in every single state, but again, consumer protection laws are broken by not displaying and then refusing them upon request. The American with Disabilities Act is also broken when you don't display information and this is a very, very easy argument. My wife is technically, her eyesight is shit. She needs glasses, right? Her sister's eyesight is shit. She needs glasses. Her father needs glasses, right? Like that side of the family, bad eyes. When you purposefully go out of your way to hide policies by not displaying them, right? Like not only can we not find them, but it makes it very hard for us to be able to conduct business safely and in a matter of our choosing, right? So when you were going out of your way to hide them, again, you're violating the American with Disabilities Act because there are people out there who have decreased eyesight. There are people who can't see, period. There's disabled people. There's veterans out there. There's elderly people. There's like my wife. She's not elderly. She's not a veteran. Right. However, she still is technically disabled, and because you're hiding your policies, you're violating her rights. Right. Then there's the data privacy rights. Like we have the right to access, correct, or delete personal information. Okay, that's one of the things that's stated very clearly in their company policy as well. So when they go out of their way to deny us the rights that we're afforded, that's a clear violation of data privacy rights. So it's a violation to access when I ask you to print it out, right? When I ask you to delete it because it's not yours and I want to go stand in this other line where you're not violating these other people's rights, like you're violating our rights. Okay. So because these acts have been broken, I can prove state and federal laws have been broken as well. And those are going to result in fines and prison. Okay. And I'll explain more on that in just a second. The second part of what the guy said is that you technically can't, be trespassed if you're exercising your right, blah, 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 right? So yes, 18 U.S. Code subsection 245 subsection B2 makes it a federal crime to willfully injure, intimidate, or interfere with someone by force or threat of force because of race, color, religion, or national origin when participating in protected activities. Just so you know, calling the cops on someone when they're engaged in a protected activity, you have militarized the police force and you have essentially committed armed assault at that point. Because I can prove that I was conducting a protected activity. I have a video stating that I'm conducting my First Amendment right, and that I've also made a purchase in your store, which means that patronizing a place of public accommodation is included in these rights. That's at minimum a misdemeanor, but because I have 27 other crimes that were committed, the penalty could go up to death. But big fines. So, let me pause this real quick. This is a long video, so 1 second. All right, so I'm gonna read from my little book over here. So, identity theft is the act of stealing someone else's personal information, which is very basically under federal law. 18 U.S. Code subsection 1028, identity theft is a felony with penalties including imprisonment and fines. Very blatantly, the Identity Theft and Assumption Deterrence Act made it a federal crime to knowingly commit or aid in identity theft according to the Federal Trade Commission. It is a first-degree Class B felony. In Idaho, that's a $50,000 fine just right off the bat. And then I get a sue for punitive damages, like emotional distress and stuff like that. So that's because it's a rights violation. I have the legal authority to do that, which is nice because, like I said, I can prove 20. I don't know. Shoot, let me count them up real quick. I can prove 27 crimes were committed. Right. So that's just if, let's say, someone was dumb enough to do what I said. Hold on, That's assuming someone was dumb enough to do something like this, where you take the company logo, put it on a sheet of paper, and then knowingly, willingly violate someone's rights by taking all of their personal information, personally protected information, their PPI. This does not belong to you. Technically, this is issued to us by the government, so it technically doesn't even belong to us. It belongs to the government. So you're not only stealing from us, but you're stealing from the government, in fact. And the nice thing is, this is just a one-time occasion. This happened to us, okay? If it was just a one-off thing, if this was just a random accident, like, oh, no, sorry, guys, like, there's no other times that this has ever happened, right? That's okay. All the fines, all the jail time, that's a one-off thing. It gets worse. You get aggravated charges if I can prove that you've done it more than one time. So when you go and you slap a thing on your paper that says this, right? So when you slap a date on here, 2016, and then copyright it, right, with your company name and logo, because you're very proud of everything that you have on here, right? You have just upgraded that from identity theft because you stole information that was not yours. You stole this government-issued personally protected information, but now you have converted it into your personal property. Conversion is a separate crime in addition to identity theft. Let me open up my book real quick and I'll read that for you. Hold on. I just realized it's actually going friggin' forever. So that'll be for a later video. But like I said, when you put your company name on it and state that anything on here is now mine, and I have a phone call proving that an attorney states that anything that's our property, I'm not going to give to you, and I'm refusing to, help you with your data privacy rights, your right to access, correct, or delete personal info, right? Like, that's huge lawsuit. I'm sorry. I'm salivating at the mouth just thinking about it. Like, it's so juicy. Oh, man. But that's identity theft. That's conversion. I have proof that they're taking that a step further. They're committing things like identity fraud. They're committing things like forgery. They're committing things like fencing, because, again, stolen property is being sold, so that's fencing. And I have evidence to prove all of this. So stay tuned. The next few videos are going to be juicy. I'm going to explain more about this in general, but I'm just going to break it down into a couple of videos so that way it's not such a super long video like this one is, okay? But I thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Please like the video, subscribe, share this with someone else so that way they can learn the law. I'm going to be tagging Carrie, and I'm going to be tagging, I'm going to call him Cato. But yeah, because you guys, I'm not going to say that you guys are dumb or stupid, right? Because that is mean. You are just ignorant of the law. And we are all ignorant at some point in our lives, but that's what this whole channel is for, so that way I can help you help me to learn. So thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day. I don't know. I want to go to the river because it's so hot over here, but I know it's raining and some places it's snowing, so you guys stay safe. The weather is ridiculous. It's like 90 degrees here right now, so let me know what the weather is like where you're at. Have a good one.